More stem cells, more regeneration, more repair of the heart, longer survival. Less stem cells, you're in trouble. Do foods stimulate stem cells? And the answer is yes.
Meet Dr. William Li, a world-renowned Harvard-trained medical doctor, researcher, and president, and a founder of the Angiogenesis Foundation. His work has led to more than 40 FDA-approved therapeutics and devices for cancer, cardiovascular disease, wound healing, and vision loss. He is also a New York Times best-selling author with Eat to Beat Disease, the new science of how your body can heal itself, and he recently published a new book, Eat to Beat Diet, Burn Fat, Heal Your Metabolism, and Live Longer. In today's video, we have extracted Dr. William Li's teaching over the years and focus on the importance of hydration, and this video will list out 3 drinks other than water that Dr. William Li frequently mentions in many of his seminars and talks. These top 3 beverages help stimulate the stem cell counts and help live longer, so stay watching until the very end for all the juicy details. 5 tips to live healthier and longer.
Number 1, stay hydrated, because dehydration actually makes everything in your body work harder. And so if you want your food to work for you, you actually want to make sure your body has enough water content to be able to keep all those metabolic processes functioning really well. Number 2, I would say eat what you like, but make sure that most of what you eat falls in the category of what we call plant-based foods. Third, I would say to the extent possible, avoid ultra-processed foods. The other thing that I would actually say that would be really helpful is to try to avoid foods with added sugars whenever you can. And the 5th thing I would actually say is that I want to come back to beverages for a second. Besides water, there's 2 other beverages that I think are go-tos for health. And one is tea. Could be green tea, could be oolong tea, could be black tea. And the other one is coffee. Remarkably, water, tea, and coffee are the go-tos for beverage and health. Now, what you add to them can make a big difference.
So the first tip was to stay hydrated, and the final tip was to choose those beverages that are healthy. So let's now explore 3 drinks other than water that Dr. William Li enjoys drinking himself, as well as frequently share in his teaching, that are really good for our health. At the very end of the video, Dr. William Li will share what we should avoid drinking to stay healthy for longer, so don't miss out. First, green tea.
Green tea especially has a natural polyphenol that's called catechins, EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, EGCG. And the catechin is actually just part of the natural substance in the tea leaf. So whether you're brewing tea with a bag, or whether it's loose leaf tea, or whether it's matcha, which is just powdered tea leaves, the fact of the matter is that into the brew, into the liquid, hot liquid, comes all these phytochemicals, including these catechins. So when you sip straight tea, the catechins go right in. They're easily absorbed by your body. And so, our blood levels of catechins go way up. So many things that catechins can do. One of the things that's important is actually it's a relaxant. It actually helps lower your stress. It lowers the catecholamines. And so other things, it helps your lipids. It actually also helps fight cancer. It's anti-inflammatory. A substance that has so many beneficial things that, at least when I drink tea, I want to get as much as I can out of my food.
Now we understand that green tea is very healthy, but I'm sure there are many of you who indulge in black tea. Is black tea any good?
Green tea will increase your stem cells, but guess what? So can black tea. People in Asia drink a lot of tea. People in Britain drink a lot of tea as well.
Yeah.
We used to say green tea is good, black tea is fermented, so it's not going to be that good for you. We're changing our minds. We have to keep our minds open. Black tea can also double the number of stem cells. I had this discovery that might be useful for your listeners who are in exactly that situation where they like the taste of milk in their tea. I discovered there is something called milk tea. It's actually from Taiwan. It's grown in the mountain, and it's just pure tea leaves that when you brew it, it tastes like it's got dairy in it.
He is referring to a native Taiwanese green tea called Guinan tea, which can be translated as milkong tea. Jinshen tea have a unique milk flavor, which is called nang or milk oolong. So with this variety from Taiwan, you can enjoy all the goodness of the green tea together with a hint of milk flavor.
The second beverage that is healthy and may help us live a longer life is coffee.
And I'm having breakfast, and I thought I would actually share with you what I'm having. Here's some coffee. Coffee's got chlorogenic acid, which is actually good for your metabolism. It also activates your health defenses, anti-angiogenic, anti-inflammatory. I love coffee. A study was published in the journal Annals of Internal Medicine of 171,000 people in their 50s living in the United Kingdom, and it showed that those who drank 2 to 3.5 cups of coffee per day had a 30% lower risk of all-cause mortality. That means death from any cause. The people came from a database called the UK Biobank that has 500,000 people participating, and the study took place over 9 years. So what's in coffee that is so beneficial for health? Coffee has a natural chemical called chlorogenic acid that does a lot of things. It improves your blood flow, stimulates your own stem cells to help your organs regenerate. It improves the gut microbiome, which lowers inflammation and improves metabolism. It's an antioxidant, and chlorogenic acid also improves your immune system.
So we gather that coffee is beneficial to our health. Is drinking organic coffee even better?
Organic coffee has more chlorogenic acid than conventionally grown beans. Chlorogenic acid, which helps to repel insects as well. An organic coffee bean has 3 times as much chlorogenic acid.
Third food that can be made into a great beverage is chocolate.
Cacao or chocolate. It turns out that studies have been done where if you take chocolate with high flavanols and make a hot chocolate out of it, and you drink it just twice a day, 2 cups a day, for 30 days. You can start by measuring your stem cells, and this is from 16 subjects, and you can make the stem cell levels. This is 2 cups of hot chocolate, of high flavanol hot chocolate, just twice a day. By the way, all of these patients had cardiovascular disease. They had documented blockages in their arteries in their heart, and they could get more stem cells going. That is a small study, but really, really interesting to think about. So again, we need to pay attention to what kind of studies these are. This is a clinical trial. It's a small study, but it actually is really important because it correlates with some of the other information I showed you. A larger study, 20,000 people in Germany, showed that those who ate 7.5 grams of chocolate per day lowered the risk of heart attack or stroke by 39%. Okay, what is 7.5 grams of chocolate? It's about 3 chocolate chips. Got to be dark chocolate, not that much. And you know, it's, by the way, I want to say it's not the dairy in the chocolate, it's not the sugar in the chocolate. It is that natural chemical in cacao. And that's what we need to be able to do, is the final product that we're served up by companies isn't necessarily what's good for us. But we need to be able to discern what it is that is actually in the food that might be doing us a favor. If you take the really dark chocolate, like 73% cacao, the really dark chocolate, and you make it into a high flavanol hot chocolate drink, and you have it twice a day. This was the clinical study. They found in people who wound up actually drinking the hot chocolate twice a day over the course of a month, they doubled the number of stem cells compared to the people who didn't drink hot chocolate. So the question is that important? Well, when they measured their blood flow, what they did is they put a blood pressure cuff on them, and which, you know, kind of lowers the circulation of the blood. Then they let it go. They found that the blood flow was vastly improved. So here's a functional result that actually means it makes a difference. So who's going to complain about chocolate? Who's going to complain about tea? Who's going to complain about a Mediterranean diet? I mean, you go out to eat. These are the things we love.
Here is the final important remark on chocolate from Dr. William Li.
Chocolate is a confection. Like if you get a Milky Way bar or Three Musketeers, I mean, you know, like Halloween candy, all right, that's a confection. It's got all kinds of stuff and actually not that much real cacao. But get a bar, which you can find in almost any grocery store now, that's 80% or higher chocolate, cacao. Now you're talking about essentially something that's mostly plant-based, because that's what cacao is. It gives you dietary fiber. It gives you polyphenols from the chocolate. And we've done some research that was presented at the American Society of Nutrition's annual meeting that showed that the stuff in dark chocolate can cut off the blood supply feeding cancers. It's an anti-inflammatory. And we actually tested with leukemia cells, for example, and it directly is toxic to leukemia cells. It kills leukemia cells.
When it comes to drinks, there is one beverage that Dr. William Li considers that we should stay well away from, and that is none other than alcohol.
What can injure stem cells? You know, high doses of alcohol can damage and blunt your stem cell. The thing is, on balance, people who drink a lot have damaged stem cells. Diabetes is another state, a metabolic state that, you know, it really impairs, it cripples our stem cells. High blood sugar cripples our stem cells. So the excess of anything can be harmful, including to our stem cells.
If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who needs to see it. Don't forget to subscribe for more health tips. See you in the next video.